But let me go across to Major Sudhakar Jee. Major Sudhakar Jee, I want to begin with the same question for you as well, sir. That Wang Yi's visit was seen as a high-stakes diplomatic effort between India and China. Relations have soured after the Galwan clash very clearly, but a lot of effort has been made by our military on both sides to stabilize the relations as far as border tensions are concerned. But do you feel that the aim of easing down India-China relations or bringing them to a more stable path has been achieved as far as this particular visit is concerned?
Yeah, Devika, good evening. Thank you for getting me to your show. To large an extent, short and sweet answer is yes. Why am I saying yes? This is to be seen in the backdrop of multiple events which have taken place in recent past, to include the peace deal, which is an ongoing activity between Russia and Ukraine. All-out efforts are on to bring about peace, and peace is an end state. And I suppose, as per my understanding, the methods and means would start with the ceasefire. Thereafter, the Middle East. Hope it calms down a little bit and takes a reprieve and gives a breather for the sake of humanity. And in the recent past, we have had Operation Sindoor. This was as a kind of a retribution by our country against Pakistan for having perpetrated Pahalgam, in which our 26 innocent civilians were actually killed and brought their light by the terrorists, none other than TRF. And also, further compounding the global churn, geopolitical churn, is the tariff tyranny, which is actually creating a lot of ripples and turbulence all over the world. So in this backdrop, my take on the whole issue is sooner or later, China has indicated number of times earlier in the past that it wants to get closer to India because it is quite mindful and aware of the fact that its global ambition to rejuvenate the Middle Kingdom by 2049 or earlier than that cannot be achieved or completed until it takes support and leverages the geostrategic position and the location of India. That is one. And second point is that to redeem its century of humiliation, it also requires country like India, because the domestic base, consumer base that India has is actually unparalleled and beyond comparison, except for China itself, which economy is getting into a slum. Therefore, it requires India in a big way. And third and most important thing is that in 21st century, the global commercial basket is gravitating towards the Indian subcontinent. China, if it at all has to fulfill its global ambition, it has to traverse this length and breadth of Indian Ocean sea lanes of communication, and it's a distance more than 14,000 kilometers from Persian Gulf, has to pass through the choke points, for which again it is at the mercy of India. Therefore, it will do good if it reconciles. And they have indicated already twice, I think, in the past. Same is the case with India, a pragmatic and a prudent approach, looking at the kind of forces inimical to the growth of India, is compelling India naturally. Actually, it is coming on a platter that India should very decisively take a calibrated approach in terms of short, medium, and long term till it reaches a target of 10 to 15 trillion US dollar economy. I think there is no harm in selective cooperation with the components and the factors which China is offering, which will actually benefit to achieve its Atmanirbhar Bharat by 2047 or before that. Last but not the least, Devika, it's a golden opportunity to settle the border. Wang Yi essentially is a special representative of China, and as far as India is concerned, he is the principal actor as far as China is concerned, and we have our NSA. Both have met once in the month of December in China. This is the second meeting. I think it's high time that the de-escalation, demobilization and de-induction of troops takes place along the eastern Ladakh, as also to the eastern sector of India. Along the eastern Ladakh, we have 50 to 60,000 each onto both the sides, either side. And also towards the eastern sector, we have around 80 to 90,000. All these troops must get back to pre-2020 April profile, and we must restore the status quo ante as far as the Protocol 1996, 93, 96, 2005, 2012 and 13 are concerned, and take advantage and exploit the opportunities offered by Protocol 2005 towards delineation of the border on map and demarcation of border on ground at the soonest timeline as far as possible. And last but not the least, the embargoes which have been imposed by China, be in terms of calling back the engineers who are working with Foxconn in Tamil Nadu in recent past, about 300 of them by word of mouth, nothing in written. They have been called back to China, as also embargo on supply of fertilizer, embargo on the graphite, I would say, the required for the electric vehicle, embargo on the tunnel boring machine. All these things should be addressed in a very comprehensive manner, which I am told through your narrative, the preamble that you gave, have already been lifted. It's a very welcome development. India should grab the opportunity and take the relationship forward. This also means realignment in the global order as on today. What will happen tomorrow, nobody knows. Back to you, Devika.
All right, Ambassador Veena Sikri back with us on the broadcast as well. Ambassador Sikri.